Hey everyone, ready to ditch that whole get rich slowly thing and maybe uncover some seriously unconventional wealth building secrets?
I think we can handle that.
Perfect. So we're diving deep today into how the world's richest people think, and we'll be using Alex Becker's book, The 10 Pillars of Wealth, to guide us.
Great book.
It is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this deep dive is specifically for those of you out there who you're done with the average, just going through the motions, and
Right.
you're ready to grab control of your financial future, make things happen.
Yeah, take charge.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, get ready because we're going to challenge almost everything you've been told about building wealth.
Okay, hit me.
We're starting with that classic advice everyone's heard.
Yeah.
Get good grades, find a stable job, and then save, save, save.
Ugh, so boring. I mean, right? Come on, where's the fun in that? It's like the most boring financial advice ever.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And Becker points out that, and this is important, it's not just boring, but this whole slow and steady plan, it's actually flawed, built on shaky ground.
Okay, how so?
Well, what happens if the economy takes a nosedive?
Right.
Or your stable job gets outsourced?
Yeah.
You could end up having sacrificed years of your life, the good years for a future that might not even be there.
Yeah, and that's what's so frustrating about all that traditional advice. It's you have to delay all the good stuff, live like a monk now for some maybe someday payoff, no Friday night dinners with friends, no last minute trips.
Exactly.
It's come on.
And on top of that, think about this. The average person spends something like 71% of their life working.
Oh, way. Mm.
That's almost 3/4 gone.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. Imagine trading all that precious time for a plan that doesn't even guarantee your happiness or real financial security.
Yeah, no thanks. Okay, so the slow lane is definitely out. But then there's the whole get rich quick thing, and that just sounds like, I don't know, risky gambling, right?
Not necessarily. See, Becker's idea of get rich quickly isn't about gambling at all.
Okay.
It's all about taking control, really becoming the architect of your own financial destiny.
I like that.
I mean, look at Becker himself. He built an 8-figure net worth by the time he was 26.
Really?
Yeah. That's less than a decade, not the typical 30-year plan everyone talks about.
That's crazy. So he's saying you can actually speed up this whole wealth building thing? That totally changes the game.
It does. Think of it like mastering, I don't know, a video game.
Oh, okay. I like where this is going.
Yeah. So you have to learn the rules, right? You're going to face some setbacks. Maybe you die a few times. But each time, each failure you have actually brings you closer to understanding the game and then eventually, winning.
Ah, I see. So instead of being afraid of failure, you're using it to learn and get better.
Exactly. One of Becker's friends, he started 6 different businesses before he really made it big.
Wow, 6.
Yeah, 6. He even worked a regular 9 to 5 for 2 years while he was, powering through each of those setbacks.
Wow, persistent.
He was. And that 6th attempt, home run. He was a millionaire within 4 years.
That's amazing. I guess the traditional path, it makes failures seem like the end of everything.
It does.
But with this whole get rich quickly mindset, it's just, part of the journey.
Exactly. And the best part, you're the one in control, the one driving.
Okay.
It's your effort, how much you learn,
Yeah.
the choices you make, all those things determine the outcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not at the mercy of, some boss or whatever the market decides to do.
Okay, that's the kind of control I'm talking about. But speaking of unexpected paths to wealth, there's this guy, Jordan Belfort.
Oh, okay.
The Wolf of Wall Street guy.
Yeah.
Now, hear me out before you, make a judgment.
Okay.
So I know he's a controversial figure, but there's something we can learn from his story, right?
Yeah, you're right. Even if his methods were, a little shady.
Right.
Belfort built a system that made him money, whether he was working or, doing whatever else he was doing.
Yeah.
He figured out how to separate his time from his income.
So he kind of cracked the code of making money work for him, even if he wasn't the most ethical guy.
That's the key. And this isn't just for stockbrokers.
Okay.
This principle, it applies to all sorts of things. Think about building a rental property portfolio.
Okay.
Or creating a successful online course, or developing software that generates recurring revenue. The possibilities are kind of endless.
Yeah, that's true.
So think about it in terms of your own skills and interests.
Right.
Could you create something that makes money even when you're not working?
That's a good question to think about.
It is. That's the whole point of separating your time from your income.
That's a question I definitely need to ponder. It's like creating a money-making machine that runs on autopilot.
Yeah.
So how do we start, shifting our mindsets to embrace this whole get-rich-quickly approach? Where do we even begin?
Well, according to Becker, it all starts with taking radical responsibility,
Okay.
owning everything, like everything.
Everything.
Yeah, he even says that you should view everything as your fault.
Whoa, hold on.
I know, right? Sounds extreme.
Yeah, even when it seems like it's totally not.
Exactly. Like, for example, he talks about a time when one of his employees kept messing up, costing him like $10,000,
Ouch.
right? And his first reaction, totally normal, was to blame the employee.
Yeah.
But then he realized that blaming things outside of your control, it actually takes away your power.
Interesting.
It keeps you stuck in this victim mentality.
So instead of saying, oh, this happened to me, you ask yourself, okay, how could I have prevented this?
Exactly. And that one little shift in perspective, it can change everything.
Yeah.
You start to see all these opportunities for improvement,
Okay.
ways to like mitigate risk.
Right.
You become proactive instead of reactive.
Okay, so it's not about dwelling on the past or pointing fingers. It's about using every experience, even the bad ones, to get better.
Exactly. And this mindset shift, it's crucial because it puts you back in the driver's seat. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're the architect of your own destiny.
Wow. I like that. The architect of your own destiny.
Yeah.
That's powerful. This whole idea of taking ownership, it's really making me think. And it kind of reminds me of something else Becker said about embracing failure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He argues that, failure, it's not the enemy.
Okay.
It's actually your best teacher. And that's where this whole abundance mindset comes in. And he uses this really brilliant analogy comparing it to, well, dating.
Okay, dating. Tell me more.
All right, so imagine you're at a bar,
Okay.
right? And you see someone you're interested in. Now, someone with a scarcity mindset, they might think, this is my only shot. I have to make this work no matter what.
Right.
They're so terrified of rejection that they end up just playing it safe and never taking a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. I see how that fear could hold you back.
Oh,
like
sure.
not just in dating, but like in any area of life.
Exactly. Now, compare that to someone with an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
This person, they walk into that same bar knowing that there are tons of opportunities to connect.
Okay.
They're not afraid to strike up a conversation, be themselves, They're okay with maybe getting turned down.
Right. Right.
And even if things don't work out, they just see it as a learning experience, not some personal failure.
So it's not about being like naive or overly optimistic.
No, not at all.
It's more about, knowing that there are always more opportunities out there
Exactly.
and that setbacks, they're just part of the game.
Becker even tells this funny story about Mr. Brute Force.
Mr. Brute Force.
Yeah, he's like this guy at the bar, maybe not the smoothest,
Okay.
but he just keeps trying.
Right,
He's
yeah.
putting himself out there. And eventually, just because he's so persistent and believes in abundance, he succeeds.
So wait, are you saying we should actually want to fail? I mean, that seems counterintuitive.
It's not about wanting to fail, but realizing that it's going to happen.
Okay.
It's inevitable.
Okay.
And it's actually really valuable, to learn and grow.
Yeah. Like, think about any skill you've ever learned.
Exactly.
You didn't become an expert overnight. You had to practice, make mistakes, learn from them, and keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the same with building wealth.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to face challenges, make some mistakes, but each setback just brings you closer to your goal.
Okay.
The key is to, embrace the journey.
Right.
See every experience, even the tough ones, as a chance to learn and grow.
This whole abundance mindset is really starting to make sense to me. It's about believing in yourself, believing you can achieve your goals, even when things get tough.
Exactly. So how do we turn this mindset into action? What are the concrete steps?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Well, that's where goal setting comes in.
Yeah.
Becker, he's all about setting clear, actionable steps. He contrasts this with, he calls them traffic fighters, people who dream big but don't have a real plan to get there.
Oh, yeah, I know a few traffic fighters.
Yeah.
They're always talking about their big ideas, but they never seem to actually do anything.
Exactly. Becker uses this great analogy. He compares it to, Donald Trump mapping out the construction of Trump Tower.
Okay, yeah.
He had a clear vision, and he planned each step meticulously.
Right. So instead of just saying, I want to be rich, you need to break that down into smaller steps. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Becker suggests starting with your ideal lifestyle, then working backward to figure out the income you need to achieve that.
Okay, I like that. Start with the end in mind.
Right. So for example, let's say your dream is to travel the world, experience all these different cultures. Think about how much income you'd need to make that happen.
Yeah, and that makes it feel more real, more attainable.
It does. Then you break that big goal down into 5 smaller, more manageable goals.
Okay.
And for each of those, you define the specific steps required.
So it's like creating a roadmap to success, a step-by-step guide to get you from where you are now to where you want to be.
Exactly. And remember, this isn't like a one-time thing.
Okay.
It's an ongoing process. Evaluate, adjust, refine.
Right.
As you take action, you gather feedback, learn from your mistakes, and adapt.
This whole approach to goal setting is really empowering. It takes away that feeling of being overwhelmed and replaces it with a clear path forward.
That's the goal. It's all about taking control of your financial future, step by step. And that actually leads us to another crucial principle, focusing on what gets you paid.
Okay, that sounds pretty straightforward.
It does, right?
But I'm guessing Becker has a unique take on it.
He does. He uses this great analogy.
Okay, I'm all ears.
He compares it to a runner who's solely focused on running.
Okay.
To maximize their performance. A runner wouldn't spend time cooking fancy meals or doing their laundry or managing their social media.
Yeah, makes sense.
They delegate those tasks so they can put all their energy into what matters most, running faster and farther.
So it's about identifying the activities that make you money
Yes.
and getting rid of or delegating everything else.
Exactly.
Or,
He even gives us practical exercise.
oh, I love these exercises.
Write down everything you do each day and then analyze which tasks actually bring in revenue.
Okay.
Those are your golden nuggets. Those are the things you should be focusing on. Everything else, see if you can eliminate it, automate it, or delegate it.
Okay, that sounds good in theory. But what about the things you enjoy doing that might not directly make you money?
That's a great question. It's not about abandoning the things you love.
Okay.
It's more about making sure the things that are moving your business forward are your top priority.
Okay.
Maybe you can find ways to delegate some of those less important tasks so you can have more time for the things you enjoy.
Right, yeah.
Or, even get creative and integrate your passions into your business. Turn your hobbies into money-making ventures.
I love that. It's about finding a way to make work feel less like work, and more like an extension of who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's about recognizing that your time is super valuable. You wouldn't waste money on stuff you don't care about.
True.
So don't waste your time on activities that don't contribute to your goals.
That's a powerful way to think about it. Be intentional with your time.
Exactly.
Your energy. Focus on what matters.
Now, are you ready for another big idea? Becker says, money is power over other people.
Whoa, okay. That's a bold statement.
It is, right?
I mean, what does he even mean by that?
He's not saying you should manipulate people.
Okay.
He's highlighting that money by itself, it's just a tool. What really matters are the relationships you build, the influence you have, the value you exchange.
So it's not just about accumulating wealth.
No.
It's more about using it to make a positive impact.
Exactly. Think about some of the iconic brands like Apple or Starbucks.
Okay, yeah.
They're not just selling products. They're selling emotions, lifestyles, a sense of belonging.
Right. They get how to connect with their customers on a deeper level.
Exactly. They tap into people's desires and motivations.
It's about understanding what people really want.
Yes.
And then creating products or services that fulfill those desires.
And that leads to a really important skill.
Selling.
Selling. Becker emphasizes that being good at selling, it can make all the difference for any business.
Right.
He even says, his online ads, he calls them his clones.
Clones.
Yeah, his clones. They're basically selling machines.
So you're saying that selling isn't just for those, pushy salespeople. It's something anyone who wants to create wealth needs to learn.
Absolutely. Whether you're selling a product, a service, or even an idea, being able to persuade and influence others is essential for success.
But isn't selling kind of, manipulative?
It doesn't have to be. It's not about being pushy or using tricks. It's about really understanding your audience.
Okay.
Connecting with them on an emotional level.
Right.
And showing them how you can help them achieve their goals or solve their problems.
So how do you become a master seller? Is it something you're born with?
It's a skill you can learn. And it all starts with understanding human psychology.
Ooh, psychology. I like that.
Right. Think about what motivates people.
Yeah.
What are their pain points? What do they aspire to? Once you get those things, then you can create messages that really connect with them.
It's like seeing the world through your customer's eyes, understanding what they need and want.
Exactly. And then you present your offer in a way that speaks directly to those desires.
So it's about being persuasive, but also genuine.
Yes. Building real relationships.
Okay, so how do you actually get better at selling?
Practice.
Hmm.
Persistence.
Uh,
And always be willing to refine your approach.
the more you sell, the better you get at it.
Now let's talk about community and mentorship.
Okay.
Remember that World of Warcraft example I mentioned?
The video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still can't believe there's a business lesson in there.
Well, get ready, because Becker explains how World of Warcraft motivates millions of players to spend all this time and energy leveling up their characters, achieving these in-game goals. They form these groups, they collaborate, support each other, and they celebrate each other's wins.
So it's all about shared goals and camaraderie.
Exactly. And Becker says that having those same kinds of connections can do the same thing for entrepreneurs.
Okay. Yeah.
He calls them competitive friendships, where people are motivated, accountable to each other, and share ideas.
I like that. Competitive friendships.
It pushes everyone forward.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that.
And then there's the whole mentorship thing.
Yeah. Mentorship is so important.
Having someone who's been there, done that, and can provide guidance and, shortcuts.
Yeah. Like having a cheat code for success.
Exactly. Becker suggests that joining even free groups related to what you're doing can be a good place to start.
Okay.
They might not have the best mentors, but you can meet other people and maybe spot some potential mentors who are a little ahead of you.
So where do you find these mentors, these people who are a step ahead?
Look for people who are relatable, authentic.
Yeah.
Not necessarily someone who's made $1 billion, but someone who's just a bit further along than you.
Someone who understands your current struggles and can offer advice from their own experience.
And don't be afraid to just reach out, ask questions, and ask for advice.
Yeah.
Most successful people are actually really happy to share their knowledge and help others.
It's recognizing that you don't have to do it all alone. There are people who have been there and you can learn from them.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final pillar, the one that ties it all together. Making the decision to be wealthy.
Right, this is where it gets interesting. So what does it even mean to decide to be wealthy? Is it just like wishing really hard?
It's more than wishing. It's a choice you make.
Okay.
A conscious commitment.
Okay.
It's about shifting your mindset from, I hope this happens, to, I'm going to make this happen.
Right, take control.
Take ownership of your financial future.
So it's like saying, I deserve this, I can achieve this, and I'm willing to put in the work.
Exactly. Get rid of those limiting beliefs and embrace the ones that will propel you forward.
It's about recognizing that you have the power to create the life you want.
To achieve your goals and make a difference.
Wow. Becker, he really went through a transformation.
He did. He was driven to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
And create a life on his own terms.
That's inspiring. It's about finding your why.
Yes.
Your motivation to push through challenges.
What are you fighting for? What are you passionate about? What kind of legacy do you want to leave?
Those are some powerful questions.
Yeah.
And once you've answered them, made that decision,
Things start to fall into place.
yeah, it's like the universe starts working with you.
Opportunities appear. Doors open. You begin to attract the resources and people you need to succeed.
It's almost like magic, but it all starts with that decision, that internal shift.
It does.
It's about believing in yourself, trusting the process, and taking that first step.
That's the essence of Becker's message. Reject the slow lane. Embrace the unexpected path to wealth.
It's about changing your mindset, taking ownership, and being determined.
And believing that you can create the life you want.
So what's your next move? Now that you've heard these mindsets, what are you going to do?
That's something for everyone to think about. And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll get into some more specific strategies.
Stay tuned because we're just getting started.
We are.
One thing that really stuck with me from Becker's book is this idea of actually doing something, not just like sitting around and absorbing all this information.
Right.
It's like he's saying, get out there and make things happen.
Absolutely. He even talks about, the learning mode trap.
The learning mode trap.
Yeah, like you can read all the books, take all the courses, but if you never actually use what you've learned,
Right.
it's like having a Ferrari just sitting in the garage, never taking it for a spin.
I totally get that. I mean, my bookshelf is full of business books, but sometimes I feel like I'm just collecting information, not actually using it.
Yeah,
It's like I'm afraid to actually take action.
it's a common thing.
Yeah.
But Becker's point is that the best learning comes from experience, from making those mistakes, from facing the challenges head on,
Right.
and then figuring out the solutions.
He's all about embracing failure as part of the process.
Exactly.
But that's easier said than done, right? Especially if you're someone who hates taking risk or failing.
Totally. But think about it this way. Every failure, every setback, It's like a feedback loop.
A feedback loop.
Yeah, it's giving you valuable information, telling you what works and what doesn't.
So instead of beating yourself up over a mistake, you're using it to improve.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how powerful that shift in perspective can be.
It is powerful. Reframing failure as part of the journey, not the end of the world.
Okay, so how do we make that leap,
Yeah.
from learning to doing? Where do we even start?
Start with a clear goal,
Okay.
and then break it down into the absolute minimum steps needed to achieve it.
Don't get caught up in perfectionism or overthinking, right?
Exactly. Just take action
Yeah.
and adjust as you go.
It's kind of like the ready, aim, fire approach, but instead of aiming for perfection, you're aiming for progress.
Exactly. He even talks about launching a simple online business. You don't need a fancy website or some complicated marketing plan or even a huge budget.
Okay.
You can just test things out with a basic landing page, a simple offer, and a few targeted ads.
So get something out there quickly and gather feedback.
Yep. Test your assumptions, validate your idea, gain some traction before you invest a ton of time and resources.
That makes a lot of sense. It takes the pressure off.
It does.
And then you
Right.
can adapt as you learn.
And as you gather data, you refine your approach, scale up, and eventually hit your target.
It's a much more flexible and responsive way to build a business.
Speaking of taking action, remember Becker talking about the 80-20 principle?
Yeah, the 80-20 principle. Remind me what that is again and how it applies to, making money.
Okay. The 80-20 principle, it's also called the Pareto principle.
Right.
It basically says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. And it applies to almost every area of life, but especially business and wealth creation.
So the key is figuring out that 20%, the stuff that's actually making a difference, and focusing on that, right?
Exactly. Becker even suggests this exercise.
Ooh, another exercise.
Write down every single task you do in a day,
Okay.
then see which ones directly contribute to bringing in money. Those are the ones you need to focus on.
Now, what about all that other stuff, the other 80%?
Try to eliminate it, automate it, or delegate it.
Okay, so it's working smarter, not harder, right?
Right.
But how do you know what to delegate? What if you're a solopreneur just starting out?
That's a good question. Even if you're working alone, there are ways to streamline things. Tons of tools and resources out there that can automate things like, scheduling social media posts, email marketing, even bookkeeping.
I definitely try to do too much myself.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
But delegating some of that stuff would free up so much time and energy.
Exactly. It's about building systems and processes that let you grow without working more hours.
So instead of trading hours for dollars, you're creating a system that makes money even when you're not working.
Think about it. Imagine creating a popular online course that people can buy anytime,
Okay.
or developing some software that generates recurring revenue,
Right, yeah.
or even building a portfolio of rental properties that brings in passive income.
Those are some great examples. It's like building a money-making machine that works even while you sleep.
That's the goal. And the best part is that you can tailor these systems to fit your strengths, interests, and lifestyle.
I love that, finding a business that works for you.
Exactly.
Okay, so Becker also talks about this idea that people don't buy products, they buy emotions. Can you explain that a bit more?
Sure. It's all about understanding the psychology of your audience, connecting with them on a deeper level, tapping into their emotional needs,
Right.
and offering solutions that resonate with what they truly desire.
So it's not just about the features and benefits of a product or service.
No.
It's about how it makes people feel.
Think about brands like Apple, Nike, Harley-Davidson.
Okay, yeah.
They're not just selling products.
Right.
They're selling emotions, lifestyles, a sense of belonging.
They're telling a story.
Exactly. And this applies to any business.
Right.
Whether you're selling physical products, online courses, whatever. It's about understanding what people really crave and positioning your offer in a way that speaks to those desires.
So it's about crafting a narrative that resonates with your audience.
Yeah, building trust.
Right.
And showing how your product or service can help them reach their goals, solve their problems, or just live a better life.
This is so powerful. It's not just about logic and facts. It's about connecting with people's emotions.
Exactly. And that brings us back to selling.
Selling. Always comes back to selling.
Becker emphasizes over and over that being good at selling is crucial for success in any business.
He even says you should be the best salesperson in your company no matter what you do.
Exactly. Because every business, at its core, is about selling.
Okay.
Convincing people to exchange their money for the value you're offering.
So selling isn't just for those stereotypical salespeople. It's a skill everyone needs to learn.
Absolutely. It's about understanding your audience, building relationships, establishing trust, and showing them how you can help them.
But some people are just naturally better at selling than others, right?
Well, some people might have a natural talent for it, but it's definitely a skill you can develop.
Okay.
It starts with understanding psychology, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
What makes people tick? What are they struggling with? What do they want to achieve? Once you get that, you can start creating messages that really connect.
It's like getting inside your customer's head, figuring out what they really want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then presenting your offer in a way that speaks to those desires.
Okay, so it's not about tricks or being manipulative.
No.
It's about genuinely helping people.
Exactly. And it takes practice and persistence.
Yeah.
And always be willing to try new things and refine your approach.
The more you do it, the better you get.
Right. Now let's switch gears again. Let's talk about community and mentorship. Remember that World of Warcraft example?
A video game, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still amazed that we're getting business lessons from video games.
Well, Becker's point is that surrounding yourself with the right people can make a huge difference,
Okay.
just like it does for those gamers.
Okay.
He emphasizes having a tribe, a community of people who are on a similar journey.
Yeah, finding your people.
Exactly. People who get what you're going through, who celebrate your wins, and who push you to be your best.
That's so important, having that support system.
He talks about these competitive friendships.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier.
Where you're motivated by each other, hold each other accountable, and share ideas.
It's like having a built-in support system that keeps you on track.
Right. And then there's mentorship.
Mentorship is so valuable.
Having someone who's already been down the road you're on,
Yeah.
who can guide you, give you shortcuts.
It's like having a cheat code for success.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't have to start with some big-name guru. Becker suggests joining free groups in your niche.
Okay.
Even if the mentorship isn't top level there, you'll meet people and maybe spot some potential mentors who are a few steps ahead.
So it's about putting yourself out there, networking, building relationships.
Exactly. And you don't have to find the perfect mentor right away.
Okay.
Sometimes the most valuable mentors are those who are just a little bit further along than you.
Right. Someone who gets your current struggles.
And don't be afraid to just reach out. Ask questions, seek guidance. Most successful people are happy to help.
It's realizing you don't have to figure it all out on your own.
Exactly. Now, let's go back to that big decision we talked about earlier.
Okay.
The decision to be wealthy.
Yeah. Remind me, what does that actually mean?
It's more than just thinking positive thoughts. It's a real commitment you make.
Okay.
Shifting your mindset, believing in yourself,
Okay.
taking charge of your financial future.
So it's like saying, I deserve this, I'm capable of achieving it, and I'm willing to work for it.
Exactly. Let go of those limiting beliefs and embrace the ones that will empower you.
You have the power to create the life you want.
To achieve your goals and to make an impact on the world.
Wow. Becker's story is so inspiring.
It is. He was determined to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
And he built the life he wanted.
It's all about finding your why, your motivation, right?
What are you willing to fight for? What are you passionate about? What kind of legacy do you want to build?
Those are some really powerful questions. And once you've answered them, made that decision.
Things start to happen.
Yeah.
Opportunities appear. The right people come into your life. You start to attract the resources you need.
It's almost like magic, but it all starts with that inner shift.
Exactly. It's about believing in yourself, trusting the process, and taking that first step.
So what steps can you take today to start making these changes?
That's a great question. Becker actually gives some practical advice for launching a business.
Okay, great. Tell me more.
He focuses on three main types: cash flow businesses, high investment, high scalability businesses, and long-term investment businesses.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So he breaks down each model and helps you choose the one that's right for you.
Exactly. He looks at the pros and cons of each, so you can pick the one that aligns with your skills, resources, and goals.
Okay, let's dive into each of these business models. First up, cash flow businesses. What are those all about?
These are businesses where the overhead is low, but you have to invest a lot of time, especially in the beginning.
Okay, so you're essentially trading your time for money.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Think about things like freelance writing, graphic design, virtual assisting, social media management, consulting.
Okay, yeah.
You're offering a service directly to clients.
So you're using your skills to solve problems for people and getting paid for it.
Exactly. And the great thing about these businesses is that it doesn't cost much to get started.
So they're a good option for beginners or people who want to try entrepreneurship without taking on too much risk.
Exactly. And Becker says the key to success with these is maximizing your billable hours and scaling up gradually.
So get more efficient, streamline your processes, and increase your rates as you gain experience.
Right. And as your business grows, you can start thinking about systematizing things.
Okay.
Maybe hiring subcontractors or building a small team.
So you're leveraging other people's time and skills, freeing yourself up to focus on higher level tasks like bringing in new clients.
Exactly. You're moving from solopreneur to running a small business.
I like that, building a business that works for you.
Now let's move on to high investment, high scalability businesses.
Okay, these sound a bit more intense.
They can be. These are the ones that need a lot of upfront capital, but they have the potential to make huge returns.
So higher barrier to entry, but potentially huge growth.
Think about software development, e-commerce, online courses, creating and selling physical products.
Okay.
You often need to build a platform, develop a product, and invest in marketing and advertising.
So more vision and planning required upfront.
You got it. But the rewards can be amazing. Becker says the key to success here is finding a scalable model.
Something that can grow without you having to work around the clock.
Exactly. It's about creating systems and processes that can handle that increased demand, maybe through automation, outsourcing, or building a team.
So you're building a business that can run itself, or at least run with minimal input from you.
That's the goal. And once you've built that foundation, the growth potential is huge.
But these also sound pretty risky.
They can be. You're putting a lot in time, money, energy into something that might not work out.
Not for the faint of heart.
Right. But if you're willing to take calculated risks and you have a strong vision, the rewards can be incredible.
Okay, last but not least, let's talk about long-term investment businesses.
These are businesses that also need a big upfront investment,
Okay.
but they generate a consistent return on investment over time.
So think real estate, franchises, buying existing businesses that are already profitable.
Exactly. They often involve acquiring assets, managing operations, and aiming for steady growth.
So more about slow and steady growth than explosive expansion.
Right. They need a big investment up front, but they're usually more stable and predictable than those high scalability businesses.
So it's playing the long game, building a portfolio of assets that bring in passive income over time.
That's it. And Becker emphasizes that success here is about doing your homework,
Okay.
careful planning, and focusing on building long-term value.
So making smart investments, minimizing risk, and building financial security.
Exactly. And having a good team in place.
Right. People you can trust to handle the day-to-day stuff.
So you can focus on the bigger picture or just relax and enjoy the rewards.
So you're building a system that lets you leverage other people's skills and time, freeing you up to do other things.
That's the idea. Long-term investment businesses can provide financial security so you can pursue other passions or just enjoy a more relaxed life.
Okay, so we've covered 3 different business models: cash flow, high investment, high scalability, and long-term investment.
Each one has its pros and cons.
It's amazing how many ways there are to build wealth.
Absolutely. And you can choose the path that works best for you based on your skills, resources, how much risk you're comfortable with, and your goals.
So much to think about.
It is.
Which model speaks to you? What aligns with your skills, resources, and goals?
That's the question everyone should be asking themselves.
Okay, so Becker also mentions affiliate marketing. Can you explain what that is and why he thinks it's valuable?
Affiliate marketing is where you make money by promoting other people's products or services.
So you're like a middleman between the company and the customer.
You could say that. You partner with a company that offers something you believe in, promote it to your audience, and earn a commission on every sale.
So you're like a digital salesperson earning a cut of each transaction.
Becker sees it as a low-risk way to try out entrepreneurship, learn about marketing and sales, and potentially make some good money without having to create your own products or deal with inventory.
So it's a good way for new entrepreneurs to get their feet wet.
And you can leverage the existing infrastructure and marketing of the company you partner with.
So you don't have to worry about things like product development or customer support.
You can focus on driving traffic and generating sales.
Exactly.
And there are tons of affiliate programs out there for almost any niche you can think of.
So much flexibility.
Yeah. And Becker suggests that Affiliate marketing can even be a way to boost your income from other businesses.
Like a bonus income stream.
Exactly.
Okay, so as we're exploring all these different models and thinking about our own path, it's really important to choose something that we're passionate about, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to be putting in a lot of time and energy, so it has to be something that excites you.
It has to be something that gets you out of bed in the morning, ready to face the challenges.
And don't be afraid to experiment and try different things.
Right.
If something's not working, change it up.
It's about finding what works best for you. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
And embrace the journey.
Yes.
Know that there will be ups and downs along the way.
Before we wrap up our look at 10 pillars of wealth, there's one more thing Becker talks about. The emotional roller coaster of building a business.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine that.
He's really honest about the highs and lows.
Okay.
The moments of excitement, but also the moments of despair that are just part of it.
It's like a real roller coaster ride with all the twists and turns.
Exactly. And he emphasizes having a strong support system in place.
Yeah, those people you can turn to when things get tough.
Your tribe, mentors, family, and friends.
They help you stay focused on your goals.
He also talks about the importance of self-care.
Oh, that's so important.
It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of yourself.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that.
It's important to remember that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Love that. I need to remind myself of that more often.
Make sure you're making time for the things that bring you joy and give you energy.
So it's not just about working hard and making money. It's about creating a well-rounded life.
It's exactly. A life where you have the freedom to do the things you love, spend time with the people who matter, and make a positive impact on the world.
That's what it's all about, aligning your financial goals with your values and creating a life that feels meaningful.
It's about more than just money. It's about living a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment.
Wow, we've really covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
This deep dive into Alex Becker's 10 Pillars of Wealth has been, well, mind-blowing.
It's a really good book.
It is, yeah. So much to unpack, from, ditching the whole get rich slowly thing to embracing failure and building those systems, those money-making machines.
Yeah.
What's standing out to you as we wrap up?
I think the most important thing is mindset.
Yeah.
Becker really drives home the point that if you want to be successful financially, it all starts in your head.
Okay.
You have to believe it's possible.
Right.
And start thinking and acting like the people who've already achieved it.
He really wants us to ditch that whole traditional slow lane narrative, right?
He does.
Embrace the idea that we can speed things up.
It's about focused effort,
Okay.
strategic action,
Yeah.
and being willing to take risks.
That's where the magic happens.
It's about realizing that you're not limited by your circumstances, but by your beliefs and your actions.
And he's all about taking ownership, seeing every situation, even the bad ones, as opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
It's moving from, feeling like a victim to feeling like a creator.
Shifting that perspective puts you in control.
Okay.
You start to see what's possible instead of focusing on the problems.
That abundance mindset, too, that was really powerful.
It is.
It's about believing that anything is possible.
Yeah, and facing those challenges with resilience.
Keep going no matter what.
Knowing that every experience, even the failures, they're just stepping stones on the path to success.
And his advice on goal setting, too, breaking those big dreams down into smaller, manageable steps.
Creating that roadmap.
Yeah.
Taking it one step at a time.
It makes it so much less overwhelming.
Definitely. And then focusing on those things that actually make a difference.
And 20%.
Well, 20% that get you 80% of the results.
Work smarter, not harder.
Build systems that work for you.
This whole idea of understanding how people think when it comes to money, that was fascinating.
Yeah.
Money's just a tool, right?
Right.
It's the relationships, the influence, the value you create that really matters.
Think about the brands that you love. They're selling more than just products.
They're selling a feeling.
An experience, a sense of belonging.
Right.
They get how to connect with people on a deeper level.
And that ties into selling, right?
It does.
Not in a manipulative way, but as a way to persuade people to see the value you offer.
It's about understanding your audience, building relationships, establishing trust.
Showing them how you can help them.
And then, of course, finding your tribe.
Your people.
Surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you, and who celebrate your wins.
That support system is so important.
Those competitive friendships, mentors, they help keep you motivated and on track.
And in the end, it all comes down to making a choice.
A decision.
Yeah.
To step into your power and create the life you want.
Believing in yourself, trusting the process, taking that first step.
So as we finish up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
What's your definition of wealth? Is it just about money? Or is it something more?
Yeah, is it about freedom or impact or legacy?
What kind of life do you want to build for yourself and the people you love? What kind of mark do you want to leave on the world?
Those are some big questions,
They are.
but they're the questions that matter.
They're the questions that will guide you on your journey to true wealth.
The path might not be easy,
It won't be.
but it's definitely worth it.
Keep learning, keep growing, keep taking action, and never give up on your dreams.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Alex Becker's 10 Pillars of Wealth. We hope you got some valuable insights and that you're feeling inspired to create your own path to financial freedom and a life filled with purpose. It's been great talking with you.
Likewise. Until next time, keep exploring, keep challenging yourself, and keep creating the life you deserve.